everybody, welcome back. So glad to see you here today. I'm going to show you what we had to eat around here this week, and I hope that it brings you some ideas and some inspiration. We've got a little bit of variety here this week, a few different things. Maybe if you're looking for something easy, maybe if you're looking for something quick, maybe if you want something in the crock pot, we might be able to help you out here today. So let's get on into today's video, you guys.
Hello everybody, how y'all doing? Today I am making stuffed peppers. So I've got a pound of ground beef and I'm going to use about that much onion, and I'm just going to cut it up here real quick while I'm chatting with you. James, we're going to do a little chatty chat, okay? Sunday night, not long after we went to bed, I wasn't even asleep, and I had not been feeling one little bit under the weather. And all of a sudden, just like boom, my throat started hurting out of a clear blue sky. I was like, oh no. And so I was awake till about 2:30 in the morning. My throat was hurting more and more as I was just laying there. So I came downstairs, I took some NyQuil and went back to bed, and just not knowing how I would feel Monday morning when I woke up. And so there we go. So there's my onion in there with my pound of ground beef. I added my egg. So yeah, I woke up Monday morning feeling pretty rough. Okay, I'm gonna put in 1 whole sleeve of Ritz crackers into this for my stuffed pepper. This is my meat mixture. I'll talk more about the peppers in a minute. Right now I'm just telling you about me being sick. So let me crush these up real quick. Okay, I got these crushed up. So yeah, I woke up feeling really rough, but since I didn't have any place I had to be on Monday, I decided I was going to take some more NyQuil and just try to nip it in the bud. I shared that on Instagram, that little scene with Barney Fife on the Andy Griffith Show where he says, nip it in the bud. So that's what I was trying to do yesterday. So, thank the good Lord, I woke up today, on Tuesday, feeling better. But all I have to say, James went to the grocery store last night to bring home a few things. He offered to do that, and he was something he was wanting, so he said, I'm gonna run by the store and pick that up, and that way I'll just make that for tonight. So that's what happened. But he also brought home some bell peppers, and he said one day this week he wouldn't care to have some stuffed peppers. So that is what brought this meal about. Okay, I'm gonna use this Kinder's Gold. I don't have a lot in here. I shared a meatloaf recipe here on my channel a while back. It was a recipe for meatloaf that I found on Instagram, and I can have that video tagged down below where I made that one. But this one is kind of a take on that. It includes barbecue sauce, it includes crackers for the binder. Anyway, that's what I thought of. So for stuffed peppers, my mom would always just make basically like a meatloaf mixture, but I think she would put rice in it, and most people do, but I didn't want to fool with cooking rice, just to be honest. So I'm putting these Ritz crackers. I'm gonna get some dry seasonings in here, and then we're gonna stuff our peppers, you guys. I've been using this salt, pepper, garlic blend that I got at Aldi at the beginning of, oh, it was probably spring. It's kind of their version on the Kinder's, the blend. I've been using this one a lot and like it. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of Lowry's seasoning salt, not a bunch. And, this may be about it, you guys. I think this looks pretty good. I'm gonna get this mixed up and we'll see what we think. Okay, I'm not in the mood to put on gloves or touch this ground beef, so I'm gonna do this here with my twist and chop, I think is what this is called. It's maybe a little bit too many eggs, too many crackers. I think hers might have said 1.5 pounds with a sleeve of crackers, but it's okay. It's not gonna mess it up. Oh, it's looking better and better as we go. I think it's looking great, you guys. Looking great. Okay, guys, I decided to cut my peppers instead of standing up and balancing them. I'm just cutting them. I cut them in half the other way. And I'm just gonna do 2, so that'll be about 1/4 pound in each one. And these are some really big peppers. James brought home 4 really, really big ones. James is a go big or go home kind of guy. So I think he found the biggest peppers that were around. Now I said I didn't want to touch that meatloaf a minute ago. I don't care about touching things. I just didn't want to mix it by hand. Looky there. Okay, so I'm gonna stuff this in back in these little nooks and crannies of this pepper. Okay, that looks good. And if I need to do another couple peppers, I will. I just was thinking maybe, because I'll just have one, and I know he'll just have one, and there'll be 2 left over. Let's see what we can do here. Okay. Let's see if we can get these babies stuffed full of this meat mixture. I have made stuffed peppers on my channel before. I remember way back in the beginning days, before our kitchen was even remodeled, and back when we were growing a garden, we grew some peppers. We always grew peppers, and one year they turned out purple. They were so beautiful. The prettiest purple peppers. Okay, let's get this one in here. And I've made them since then, I'm sure, but my mom would make these when I was a kid growing up, and I didn't like them as a kid. I didn't mind the meat mixture, I just didn't want the peppers. And still to this day, a baked green pepper like this is not my favorite, but I like it a little better than I did. Oh, I don't know if I'm showing you guys what I'm doing or not. Okay, there we go. All right, instead of making, I have enough to probably stuff one more, but instead of doing that, I think I'm just gonna make a little meatball of sorts and bake in here with these, because I just don't think that we don't need any more than this. Now, I know I said James bought 4 of these, but that's just James. He, like I said, he's go big or go home, and he probably was thinking the more the merrier, but like I said, I don't want us to have to eat on them for the next couple of days either. Here we go. This will be just fine. We'll tuck a little couple meatballs in there. And I think I can do one more. Here, let's share the wealth here. Take from that one and add to this one. Okay, how's that? We just rigged this thing right on up, didn't we? Okay. Okay, today I'm just gonna use plain ketchup. We're gonna top these. And I may do some ketchup again at the end. And then I know for sure I want to add some shredded cheese close to the time that these will come out of the oven. Okay, I'm going to bake these probably 350 for about maybe an hour, I think. Okay, here they are, you guys. They baked at 350 for about an hour. And now I'm going to sprinkle with a little cheese. So I'm going to do a little bit of cheddar and a little mozzarella. Well, that one is just down the hatch. Okay, tiny bit more, okay? And then I want to go in with just a little bit more ketchup on top of that. and we will be eating dinner in about 10 minutes or so. So I'm going to put this back in, pull it out here, and it'll be just right. Here they are out, all out of the oven. Now, when my mom made these growing up, she never put cheese on them, but I think the cheese was such a great addition. I made some homemade mashed potatoes to go with these, put some butter and salt, pepper, put a little bit of mayonnaise in there, a little bit of milk. These were delicious, but I'm telling you, the star of the show was these stuffed peppers. The actual pepper was just mild and tender, and the meat mixture was spot on, if I say so myself. This meal absolutely hit the spot. I'm so thankful that James had an idea to have these, and he actually had the leftovers, and it was just a great meal. All right, I'm going to move on to another really easy peasy meal from my pantry. I took out these fettuccine noodles and this jar of Classico creamy Alfredo. And then I'm using this Max's Seasonings by McCormick's. I've showed this a few times lately. From my freezer, I just pulled out some shrimp, and I'm going to coat these real generously. I also had a little bit of frozen broccoli left over from a big bag, and I decided that was going to go along with this meal. So I have cooked up the pasta per package directions. Got just a little bit of water left there in the bottom. Putting in the sauce, and then I am going to add a few extra things to it to make it taste extra yummy. Okay guys, you saw that I just pulled from my pantry and my freezer for tonight's meal, and I am attempting to work through pantry and freezer before fall rolls around. I just need to be diligent in using the things that I have. The way I like to zhuzh up one of these jarred Alfredo, because we all know that homemade is better, is I just put whatever I feel like putting in the moment, and it just kind of takes it up another notch. So that's what I'm doing here. We all need those easy meals from time to time that we can get on the table that don't take a whole lot of time but are also very delicious and cost effective. And so this is definitely one of those. It was really tasty, and I have made several meals now from a big bag of frozen shrimp that I got at Kroger on a good sale. And of course, just for the two of us, it doesn't take a whole lot, so I am working my way through that. But look how pretty this looks. I think this looks just as good as you would get at a restaurant, and of course a fraction of the price. I just served it with some Kohl's brand, I believe. No, I think it's the New York brand of Texas toast. I did that in my air fryer for 5 minutes, and so this was quick, easy, and delicious. All right, on this particular meal, I am cooking for my parents. So my mom and dad have a freezer and a deep freeze filled with food, and like I said, they just don't cook much for themselves anymore. Since March of this year, they've definitely had some health struggles, so we have just been helping them work through the things that they have in their freezer as well. So I brought home this package of they were skinless, but they had the bone-in chicken thighs. I did these in my crock pot, just low and slow. And now I am just working through this, getting all of the meat off of the bone. And Dad has really been enjoying lately soup. That's just something that he just seems to want plenty of. So I wanted to make something a little bit different for them. I'm not sure if they've ever had this before, but I decided to make the cream cheese white chicken chili. So I pulled out the cream cheese and onion, a couple of these canned items, and a couple of these spices, and I'm going to pull that together for them. My daughter-in-law makes a really great one. I don't have the recipe she uses, but I just looked one up, and this one tasted pretty good, I have to say. So to my broth that was left from cooking these chicken thighs, I added in just a little bit more water, and I decided I'm going to go ahead and skim out the rest of some of these, the things that were left behind from this chicken, some of the little skin pieces or whatever was in there, pulled those out, and then I'm just going to start building this by adding in the cream cheese and the spices along with those 2 cans, which was a drained and rinsed black beans and a can of Rotel style tomatoes.
has ended. The leaves are turning brown. Red and yellow, soon they'll be falling down.
Right next in, I am adding the diced onion. This is about a half of a medium-sized onion. I didn't want to add anything in this that would be overly spicy for them. So the seasonings, I think this is the only thing that the recipe I was using called for was cumin and chili powder. And then I decided to add some parsley flakes just for color. But I have seen recipes before where you add green chilies. That would give it a little bit more of a kick. So of course you can customize soups like this pretty easily for how that you would prefer them best, or how your family would really enjoy them. So all these things are in. We're going to give this a good stir, and we're going to add in that shredded chicken now. You guys let me know down in the comments below if you're looking forward to fall and soup season. Of course, you can eat soup anytime you good and well please, but when it's a little cooler outside, a good warm bowl of soup seems to just hit the spot all the more.
I'm not ready.
Also, be sure and look down below for the recipe. As always, if I have recipes, they'll be down in the description box. Once I got ready to put this chicken in, I decided some of those pieces were just a little bigger than what I wanted them to be for Mom and Dad. So I'm just making those a little bit smaller, just kind of pulling them apart there and getting those in the crock pot.
The light that flickers will blow away the sight, and all that blossomed will wither away.
Also, to take to my parents, I decided to make some banana nut chocolate chip muffins. I had 2 extra ripe bananas, and I knew that they would love that. They also really like little mini muffins, things like that. So I knew that this would be a great use of my 2 very ripe bananas that I had. Also, I use I think it's a copycat Starbucks recipe anytime I make banana bread or banana nut muffins or something along those lines with bananas. I use that recipe, so I of course will have that down below. And I almost forgot the egg, you guys. I remembered that in the nick of time. So went and got that and put that in here. And I don't know, I was just feeling it was kind of dark and dreary, but I had no idea that rain was on the forecast. And I was just standing here kind of feeling the fall vibes, having made this soup and stirring together these banana nut muffins. And I'm definitely a homemaker at heart, you guys. I love being at home. My heart has always been at home. And I feel very blessed that I was able to come home, and when we started having our family, I was able to be at home and raise the children. Of course, not by myself. James has had an important part in that too, but I was able to do that at home. And so about that time, I was feeling all those feels and looked up, and this is what had started going on outside. So it indeed was feeling cozy in the kitchen. I decided to make these mini muffins, and after I scooped the first one in, I'm like, okay, get my little cookie scoop. This will be much quicker and easier and more efficient. So I got that out to fill up this little mini muffin tin, and then I just made 6 of the regular size muffins. But yeah, back to what I was saying. I worked until I was about, I don't know, 6 months along with the twins. And our oldest sons are twins. They turned 30 in December. And so I worked until then, and then I was able to come home, and they were 2 months shy of turning 3 when our third son, Riley, was born. So I had 3 under 3 for a little while, and for the next many years, I was just as busy as I could be, of course. But they are, James and I, they are our biggest blessing, our 3 sons. We love them dearly and are just so thrilled with the family that we have now. Of course, they all have sons of their own. You all, if you're around here, you know we have 7 grandsons. So they have beautiful, beautiful wives and special ladies for sure, and wonderful mamas. And I love them like my own. And we're very blessed. We are very blessed, and I don't want to ever fail to say how grateful and thankful I am for them. Family is my whole heart. All right, I don't know why I just gave you guys that little extra bit of information today as I am filling up these muffin tins. I guess I'm just feeling extra thankful, and I was that day for sure.
Well, thank you so much for watching today, you guys. Thank you so much. If you would, will you go down below the name of my channel, find that thumbs up button and hit that. And then if you haven't subscribed and you would like to, you can hit the red subscribe button. And then if you want to be notified when I'm in the kitchen, hit the bell. And that will send you a little message that says I have put something up new on my channel. All that is free, and all that helps me out here on YouTube a bunch, and I greatly appreciate it. And to those of you that are subscribed and come back week after week, I love you bunches. All right, you guys, I'll see you next time. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Bye, everybody.